Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and today is episode 7 out of 8 in our playlist, Your Life 2016. I've really enjoyed getting ready for our 2016 year and kicking it off to a great start. So far, we've talked about our priorities, our goals, vision boards, our budgets, our schedule, organization, automation, passive income, and tonight we are going to be talking about time management. Time management means working smarter to improve or increase your productivity. Being busy does not mean that you are efficient. I'm super busy, and there are some days that go by and I feel like I've gotten nothing accomplished but running around and being busy. And maybe you feel the same way, so I hope this video is helpful to you. Just never enough time in our day. I know I feel that way with so many children and a house and a business and all of the responsibilities that we have. You probably feel the same way. Most everybody I know feels the same way, but we need to learn to be more productive with our time. And that way, when we have the same amount of 24 hours, we work really hard, we work really productive and efficiently during our working time, and then we have more time to play. And when we're balanced like that, we feel a lot less stressed and a lot more happy. And that's the goal, is to be really great at business, but to be really great at life too. Taking time to watch these YouTube videos and learning this stuff, especially for men, might seem a little like, not really that productive. It seems counterintuitive to take your precious time to learn to be more time efficient, to manage your time better. But it couldn't be further from the truth. The reasons why you need to just take a moment before 2016 is because it's going to make your entire year. So we're spending a week together talking about this, but it's hopefully going to impact our entire year of 2016 because it's going to make us more productive and efficient. Going to increase our professional reputation. It's going to make us much less stressful. It's going to increase our opportunities, and we're going to be able to accomplish so much more. And that's just a handful of reasons. So I hope you stick with it. I hope you walk through the process with me. Common pitfalls, we all fall into them. So let's take a moment and talk about those. Ever have that nagging feeling that you forgot something and you're walking around trying to figure out what it is? You are not using your to-do list. I talk about to-do lists all the time. And if you Google it, there's all these elaborate systems that you can use. And I don't use any of them. I'm tried and true to pen and paper. These two items will get you started. Start your day with your cup of coffee and creating a to-do list of what you need to do today, both personally and with your business. And you're probably going to create a list of way more than you have time for, but that's okay because you're going to get more accomplished in your day than you ever would have gotten accomplished without a to-do list. Not prioritizing. Shame on you. Shame on me. We all do this too. Instead of choosing items that are high yield, and we choose these low value fluff things with our time. You're in the middle of a big project, a big private label research, and someone comes in and they have an emergency. And so you're dealing with that phone call, or oh, I'm just going to quick check my email. 2 hours later, you didn't finish your private label, which was your first priority for the day. Prioritizing makes you lose focus and you don't know which things should have your time and your energy and which things shouldn't. Not managing those distractions. Statistics say that people spend upwards of 2 hours a day just dealing with the distractions that they get. 2 hours out of a 24-hour day minus 8 hours of sleeping, we're already at 16 hours. Then you take away eating and personal hygiene and trips to the bathroom, and now we're spending 2 hours being distracted, not saying no. I used to be terrible at this because we are people pleasers. We want to make everybody happy. We want to do a good job for everybody. I have learned to say no. If you say yes to everything, what happens is you end up very overwhelmed. It makes you have poor performance. What you are doing, you're not doing well because you're trying to do everything. And then eventually that creates a low morale in you. You're just not excited anymore. You're just like, I'm just going to go to bed and forget all of this. Procrastination, that's a big pitfall. You feel guilty, you start to dread it, it's stress, everything kind of snowballs and turns into this really big deal. And then once you do it, you think, oh, that wasn't so bad. You should have just jumped in and did it to begin with, because it literally takes half the time and half the effort that you thought it was going to. Thriving on just being busy. I know you've met those people. They're just running around and they seem kind of scattered and unfocused and like a chicken without their head off. They're just thriving on being busy, the rush of it, the adrenaline of it. Does it make you happy? That makes you terribly ineffective. Busy without boundaries is not a good place to be. Okay, enough of that. So what can we do to manage our time effectively? No, number one is going to be the to-do list because I keep talking about it. Having a to-do list focuses your day, focuses your month, focuses your life. Forget, you get it all out of your head so you're not stressed out. You know it's written down. Focused, reliable, and organized. 2, scheduling. We already covered that. Very important stuff. Number 3, getting organized. We covered that too. Really, wherever you are, your house, your car, your office, wherever you are physically, really work hard on organizing your space. This way you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you walk in. You don't have to spend 20 minutes looking for things. You don't have to figure out where you're at or what you're supposed to be working on. Everything has a space. Everything's right where you left it. You can jot notes on what activity you ended on and you're just going to begin on it. Everything flows much smoother when it's well organized. Number 4, activity logs. We haven't talked about this one so much. It's kind of like a budget for your money. Activity logs is the same for your time. You're writing down wherever you're spending your time. And you do this for a week or up to a month, however long it takes, to get an idea of where you're spending your time. And what you end up finding out is what you're wasting your time on. So you might think to yourself, oh, I check Facebook for 10 minutes in the morning. When the reality is, at the end of the day, when you're calculating it, you might have blown 3 hours on Facebook. And you do that on a consistent basis. So the really great thing about activity logs is kind of the same as the great thing with the budget. You learn your starting point. You learn where you're spending your money and you learn where to save money. It's the same thing with your time. You learn where you're spending it, you know your starting place, and then you can take back your time. I don't need 2 hours to get ready. That's crazy. I can get ready in an hour. And then you're just more productive with your time and you actually get time back out of it. Number 5, value your time. Once you figure it out where you're spending it, protect it, value it. This activity that's presented to you, the PTA at your kid's school comes up to you and says, oh, we need you to bake 500 cookies tonight. You need to be asking yourself, are you a big rock to me? No. Are you meaningful and valuable to me? Is making these cookies really going to make me happy or impact my life in some way? No. Something I must do, like pay the bills, take care of my kids, feed my body? No, then I'm probably not going to do it. Number 6, concentration and focus. Work time is work time and playtime is playtime. It's really helpful if you talk to your family about this. So I've set everybody down, and this happened actually just recently, so I can share like this true story with you, because recently I felt a little overwhelmed and I felt like I was getting a lot of interruptions during work time. So I sit down and asked everybody, what time works well for you that I can be uninterrupted in my office? Because I don't really care what time I work because I work from my computer. So I can, spend 4 hours in the morning, the afternoon, or in the evening. So I'm able to be flexible in that way that it doesn't really matter to me. I just want it to be uninterrupted time. So I just presented it to everyone and said, what works best for you? And this kind of put the ball in their court. So then they knew, oh, okay, you need, 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever time you want blocked off. in your office. And then I was able, to negotiate and work it out. Number 7, self-motivation. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, and I'm super excited about that because that's my favorite subject. 4 things that I do you might know about, and others people tell you never to do them. So I'm not sure that you should listen to me or not on this, but I'm just going to tell you what works in my life. 20% of what you do creates 80% of the income. Work to find out what is the 20%. What is the 20% of how I'm spending my time that's making me happy? What's 20% of how I'm spending my business time being more effective? Now, if I look at it from an hourly perspective, I make more money with Amazon than I do eBay. So I weigh them. I've been weighing my business decisions accordingly because I'm making more money. So I'm spending a lot more time on eBay, a lot less time on Amazon, but Amazon's making me more money. The second thing I do is 90-minute blocks. I don't know why 90 minutes, it just seems to really work for me. If I sit down and work on a project straight, focused for 90 minutes, it doesn't feel like too long where I feel really wiped out. It feels like, but it's not too short where I couldn't really get deep into it. I really feel like I understand the material, understand what I was doing, and I'm able to accomplish a lot. So I really strive to have 90-minute blocks in my schedule per project. This is what everybody disagrees with me on. Actually, the next two. I like to work on big projects all at once. And most everything that you read says to divide it up into smaller bite-sized tasks and do it that way. And the school system kind of teaches that too. You do language arts for an hour, math for an hour, health for an hour, and you do that every day. And through the course of the week, you have 5 hours of math. I prefer to do all of the big project at once. So if I were to get an essay or a research paper in college, instead of working on it for 5 weeks, I preferred to work on it over the weekend. That way I could sit down and I can go from research to printing up a completed paper all in the same weekend. And I knew exactly where I was and what I was doing all the time. What I feel is a huge waste of time is having to think about where you left off. So I would spend 30 minutes trying to relearn what I had been doing sometime previously earlier in the week. I'd have to kind of sit down and regroup and read through my notes and rewrite things, and I lost my train of thought and I lost where was I going with that, and I have to like redo it. And as an adult, it's continued with me. If I have a big, hairy, nasty project that I tend to procrastinate on, I just want to hit it from beginning to end. I just take the whole weekend and I wipe it out. I like weekends for big projects because the schedule's kind of off. You don't have as many commitments. It's more laid back and relaxed. And I just feel like I can have more energy, more focus, and more effort on those big projects. Another thing that most people disagree with is they tell you not to multitask. Because if you're multitasking, you're really not being efficient in the task at hand, and you're not really remaining focused. Maybe it's because I have to, but I multitask all the time. If I'm watching TV on the commercials, I'm reading my book. And it's not that I'm trying to stay so busy that I'm stressed out all the time and not relaxing. I don't feel like that. I just feel like I don't really want to waste my time watching a commercial. And I'd much rather read my book because I'm actually getting material out of it. The same with driving. If I can multitask in the car, you bet I'm going to do it. I live on an island. I spend a lot of time in the car toting kids on and off an island. So I love books on tape. I love to use that time to watch you or listen to YouTube videos or podcasts. I continue my education a lot of times in my car. So I'm big on multitasking because there's just no reason for me to sit on an hour phone conversation with my dad sitting on the couch and then get up and fold laundry for an hour when I can talk to my dad while folding laundry. I just don't get it. But all the experts out there will tell you not to do that. And I mean, I kind of sort of understand why, but for me, it's worked brilliantly. And it's been a huge time saving tip for me. So these are my time saving tips today. It's a short video, so I can't just dive into it, but I really want to get you thinking about your time and how you can manage it, how you can become more efficient with it, and how you can safeguard it and set some boundaries around your time. Tweak it so that you are more efficient, you're getting more done, and you're just ready to accomplish a lot of stuff in 2016. Until tomorrow, talk to you then, guys. Bye.